The movie Bastards is a military drama with a semantic inversion of the title, which takes place approximately in the middle of the story. At first, the Bastards are the gang of teenagers from among those evacuated during the Great Patriotic War in USSR. They rob a grocery store in Alma-Ata in 1943. The leader of the gang, named Lavrik, like a real butcher, kills the watchman with a knife for nothing, although it would be more reasonable just to stun him and tie. Why was it necessary to commit a murder? Perhaps it's just a sense of impunity. After all, criminals are not even 18 years old. But even if so, then taking the life of an innocent person is an obvious overkill, which immediately amazes the viewers. The young punks do not realize yet that the authorities have already allowed shooting them for especially serious crimes since the age of 14 due to wartime law. But they will soon find out about it. When police arrive at the scene of the robbery, the children, in quotes, fiercely resist and kill 2 more people. Lavrik takes 1 life and a member of his gang Tiapa, who looks like a child, other. Tiapa pulls a trigger of a revolver picked up from the floor, apparently not quite understanding what he is doing. Lavrik gets a return bullet from a policeman and dies, but Tiapa survives. He, his older friend the cat, and the rest of the young gangster are sent to jail. And this is the point where the obviously unreliable story begins, invented by the writer Vladimir Kunin, whose book Bastards formed the basis of the script. Kunin had a big fantasy, and it is generally good, but this time he had a little too much, which soon came to light. According to his version, during the Great Patriotic War were organized sabotage schools, and cadets for them were recruited from among juvenile criminals that were threatened with the death penalty. Searches in the archives didn't yield anything, but common sense suggests that it is still better to prepare saboteurs from among adults. They have more strength and more wit. What, for example, could a teenager oppose in a close fight to an adult freeze? Everything is clear here. It should also be taken into account that training criminal punks in sabotage is a very dangerous thing for the future. In a peaceful life with such skills, they could become extremely strong opponents for police. It is unlikely that the authorities of that time could have done such a mistake. Nevertheless, the writer Kunin from time to time claimed that he himself knew young bandits when he lived in Alma-Ata. Allegedly, he got behind bars with them, studied at such a school, and then, as part of a group, performed a task somewhere in mountains. They either complete the task or fail it. He told every time different. And later it turned out that the facts of Kunin's biography strongly do not coincide with his own stories. He didn't participate in fighting, because he studied not in a secret sabotage school, but in 2 flight schools, from where he was expelled for failing shortly after the end of the war. But the story on the screen turned out to be good. There is also pity for the unfortunate children and outrage at the cruel adults who send them to their death. The movie captures our attention immediately and doesn't let go until the very end. The cat and the juvenile killer Tiapa, who is not yet 14 years old, are sent to a sabotage school located in the mountains near Alma-Ata. The chief of the school is an ambiguous person, a well-known climber, who has the rank of a colonel. He was specially released from prison to train in saboteurs. Some instructors, in his turn, he pulled out of prison too. Teachers are initially hostile to the cadets, but in the process of training, little by little, they become sympathetic to them. Several dramas occur among the cadets. One of them, in a climbing class, takes off his insurance ropes to show himself, but overestimating his strength, he breaks off the ledge and dies. Another one escaped from the school to look for wild cannabis in the vicinity, to which he is addicted, but was killed by the gods at the foot of the mountain. The third, the thief Maestro, crashes while skydiving because the thief Studa, who had previously lost him at cards, arranged everything so that his parachute wouldn't open. The fourth cuts his veins so as not to go to the war. The closer is the dispatch on the mission, the stronger becomes feeling that the bastards are not only the teenagers, but also the adults who sent them to fight. In general, everyone is the same. There is a sense of doom in the air, and everybody feels it. At last training is over. A group of young saboteurs is flying out on a mission. The cat is in charge, and Tjapa is his assistant. When you look at these saboteurs hung around with heavy weapons and equipment, the whole absurdity of the idea with youngsters becomes especially clear. What is their advantage over adults? We can see only disadvantages. It would be good if they were just the scouts under the appearance of village shepherds who lost their cows. The result is predictable. Most of the group dies immediately. Only the cat and Tjapa survive. It would seem that this is the end, but no, these two somehow miraculously manage to complete the task. It is extremely difficult to believe in the reality of such an outcome. But by this moment we are so excited that ready to agree. Yes, they have fulfilled. The badly wounded cat remains in the mountains. Tjapa goes for help. On the way he stumbles upon a German post and is about to shoot. But then an avalanche descends from the mountains, and we get the impression that the cat dies under it. The next time Tjapa and the cat meet at 19th years, on May 9th at the site of the former sabotage school. They arrive there as veterans. Tjapa, as we can conclude by some details, is a criminal authority or a criminal businessman. Who the cat became is unknown, and it doesn't matter. They immediately recognize each other, hug, and the movie ends. We wipe away our terror. It is a good story, but fictional from beginning to end, and not everybody believes in its reality. Actor and director Vladimir Menshov, for example, refused to award this film, calling it slanderous. Could this really have been the case? Theoretically, yes. After all, some children fought at the front, helping adults. But even if we assume that the documents of such sabotage schools were deliberately destroyed after the war, then where did their students and teachers disappear? At least someone should have survived and told about everything that it was already allowed. But nothing like that had happened. There is only one memory about it, also not confirmed by anything, and it is talking about training of scouts, not saboteurs. This is the difference. The film is very effective as a piece of art. The dramatic conflict is perfect. The actors are good, and you will remember it for a long time. It is quite possible to revise it again after some time, just as a well-made story, without thinking about its plausibility. If you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel and write comments. See you!